Hello everyone, and in keeping with the spirits, good tidings, and I hope you all have a lovely Christmas soon to come. But we may have had our Christmas sale, but we've got a little bit more time until the end of the month, and there's a couple of items that are still available. So I'm going to have a quick go through them today, and if anything catches your eye, give us a ring, because these cars, they may not stay around here for long, our vendors may take them back, so if you're interested in something, now's the time to strike while the iron's hot. We're going to start with this 1931 Alvis 1260 Beetleback. Absolutely lovely gentleman's racer. Shows a fair bit of its age, but this car was reportedly used by the Starter Motor Charity, which is a great charity, which basically takes younger children out in old motor cars to give them the experience of vintage motoring and kind of bring on that knowledge and love and passion to a new generation. And that's what this was used for a while. Again, if you look, you can see it shows its age in some places with the cracks. I've taken this car up for a drive and I absolutely love it. It is so much fun. You sit almost flat. There is no weight, no nonsense. The car points exactly where you want to go and there's not really much that can get in your way. Wind in your hair, it is acres of fun. It was in its original ownership for an impressive 63 years. It has its original Beetleback bodywork made by Car Bodies and is in very original condition. Again, could use a bit of a refurbishment, but it is very original. And arguably, the 1260 Beetleback put Alvis on the map. And Alvis does have a bit of a sweet spot for me. It's got a 1479cc engine, which is very lively. And again, with not a lot of weight, it can take you forward quite fast and is a great time to drive. Estimate on it is £23,000 to £27,000. But again, call up, make an offer, take a chance. Moving on, we'll stick with a similar generation of car. We've got this lovely 1926 Sunbeam 2060 up here on the ramp. We've got a buff logbook on file, which states it as a 2060. It's offered with some old photos that include an image of the first owner with the car, which, bearing in mind, that's almost 100 years ago. This car is 1 year away from being a Centurion, or Centenarian. I can never remember how it's pronounced. Either way, it's had just 4 previous keepers in that time, so averaging out, we're talking 25 years per keeper. And obviously Sunbeam, this was the height of Sunbeam. They were French and Spanish Grand Prix winners. They were second at Le Mans. They set multiple land speed records. Sunbeam were really at the top of their game when this car came out. This car's believed to have had an engine overhaul during the 1990s with assistance from marque specialist Bill Barrow, and the wings refurbished that same decade, and has also undergone some more restoration in 2016. And if you take a look throughout it, it is just a lovely, sophisticated motor car. I do believe there's a little bit of work that needs to be done to get this running. The engine fires and turns over, but I believe there may be something with the fuel float or something along that needs some work before the car can run properly. If you're more curious about that, give us a call. And obviously people that have worked with the car can tell you a bit more about that and give you an idea. Estimate £15,000 to £17,000. But again, take a chance. Navigate around all the Christmas decorations. And we shall move on to 1969 MGC GT. Showing 23,000 miles. This car has been very well looked after. It had a full service in 2016 at 18,000 miles, so it's only covered 5,000 miles in the last 9 years. The MGC, of course, the upgraded successor to the ever-popular MGB, with a 3-litre straight 6 with a promised speed of 120 miles an hour, which was quite something for 1969. Got lovely red paintwork, obviously the iconic little notch in the bonnet there for the carb. The first owner had this car from 1969 from 1977, and then the second owner had it for over 4 decades. And the current vendor acquired the car in 2016 and has looked after it ever since, and it is a very tidy car. The interior in this is lovely as well, if Tom's able to come through. Unfortunately, we're getting more so into winter, so visibility can be a bit of a problem, but come rain or shine or darkness or snow or sleet or whatever other weather you can think of, we'll be here. Excuse me. Sticking on the MG theme, we've got this lovely little MG midget here. Showing 67,000 miles. It's got the period correct Ross style wheels, as it should, in this lovely burgundy colour. which I think complements the car very well. It's very on period. This one was registered in 1976 and has been with the current keeper since 2022. Overall, it's quite a tidy, usable car. Runs and drives well, and I will say, if you've never had the chance to drive a midget, give it a go at some point. Now, this may be taken out of context, but I do love a midget, and I do mean the car. They are great fun. Not the most elegant things to get in and out of. I remember the first time I drove one of these, I ended up crawling out on my hands and knees, which, let's just say I wouldn't take it to a red carpet parade. But for all that crampedness that you have for getting in, there is not much wastage. It is just car. They are so agile, so much fun, so responsive. And again, for this, £4,500 to £5,500, but again, make an offer. Might be able to get it for a little bit less or see where it goes. I think it's a really cheap way to get into what is a really fun British roadster. Definitely one to look out for. Moving on to something a little less small, but still a convertible of European descent. We have 2002 BMW M3 convertible. I mean, what else can you say? The E46 M3 is iconic and for very good reason. They are great cars. We've got the S&G gearbox in this one. There's a huge stack of invoices, old MOT certificates, comes with a spare key. It's showing 127,000 miles. And this one's got an MOT until August of 2026. It's had a fair bit of work done recently. It's got a Militech exhaust and has had a new clutch at a cost of £3,000, which I'd much rather the previous vendor paid that than me after I bought it. But one of the things I say when it comes to buying cars at auction, a lot of the time it's the little details that tell you a lot. And one thing I noticed with this, obviously a lot of these M3s have had a bit of a hard life because, well, the target demographic kind of like burnouts outside of Tesco at 2 a.m. But this one, matching Michelin Sport get there eventually. Michelin Pilot Sport tyres, as they should be. Good tyre brand. Always a thing to look out for when you're buying a used car. If they're on some knockoff Chinese brand and they don't match or they're bald at the back, think carefully about who the previous owner is and how well they've looked after it. And the fact that this car's kept its original toolkit. Again, something that tends to get lost when an owner's a bit more careless. So again, it's been well looked after. Estimated £9,000 to £12,000, which, again, for getting into an M3, and an M3 that is as iconic as the E46 is, I think not a bad deal at all. Or how about a very radical change of pace? We've got this 1966 Jaguar Mark II. Now, sticking on that theme I was saying, another thing I always harp on about, and I will continue doing, is that if you have a car that is MOT exempt and a classic, still get it MOT'd, especially if you want to sell it, because there is no peace of mind like knowing that a car didn't have to go for its MOT, but you still bothered. So someone can look at it, know it's been looked through, know that it's safe to be on the road, and they have nothing to worry about. And this one, MOT'd until April of 2026. It's a 1966 Jaguar Mark II, 2.4, manual with overdrive. It's an older restoration, and again, if you look around it, you can see the paintwork is showing its age a bit in some spaces. It's not quite as vibrant in some places as it probably would have been when it was first done. But it comes with a heritage certificate, some handbooks, along with images and invoices from that restoration. Fun fact about these, in 1961, this would have cost you £1,951. Now you think, wow, that's cheap. But the worst part is, of that, £614 was tax. So take that off, you're looking at roughly 1,200 quid, so 50% in tax for the car. And I thought taxes now were horrible. Of course, this car, the Mark II, timeless styling classic. Everyone, of course, thinks of Inspector Morse. Not quite the right shade of red, but still got that classic styling. And shows there is demand for that style even today. I was having quite a funny one. If you want a bit of a laugh, Google Mitsuoka Vute. Have a look at that. And apparently, the Mark II styling has still got an audience somewhere in Japan. Estimate at £4,500 to £5,500. But again, give us a bell. Moving onwards, we shall come all the way out to the front. Get as close to sunshine as my sleep-deprived brain will let me. And we have this 1952 MG TD. But not just any TD. This one is a Mark II Works competition model, which is a very rare edition of these. Only 1,700 were made. They had a tuned-up engine, additional dampeners, and twin fuel pumps, made to give a much more sportier racing feel to the TD. It's got a 5-speed manual gearbox. This car has been around a bit. It's obviously, you may have noticed, left-hand drive. It's because it originated in the Netherlands. Travelled around the Benelux for a while, went to Belgium, then came back to the UK, and since its return to the UK, it's had one keeper in this country. The engine was rebuilt by a specialist in 2009. It's also had new brakes, new hood, new side screens, and overall, the interior for this car presents very well. Looking at the paintwork, you've got this slight kind of micro blistering across, so it will need some new paint, but and I think a lot of people, this car's flown over their heads because they just see an MGTD left-hand drive and go, this is not really anything too special. Those Mark II competition models are very hard to come by, and they're only going to get harder to come by, so I think very much worth a think. £9,000 to £10,000. Moving onwards, we'll head in that direction. And we have this 1983 Mercedes-Benz 500 SL. I mean, the 500 SL is a very iconic and very good-looking car, in my opinion. You know, some cars don't age so well, but it's still so elegant, and very much look at the kind of people that are buying these. Very much the upper crust, because it has got timeless style. It's not a trend, it's not tacky, it just oozes that kind of elegance to it. And this one, in that very striking turquoise paintwork, it's very nice. It's got some minor imperfections through the paintwork. It does need a bit of work, but that's reflected in the price. You know, really good examples of these can easily do £20,000. But this one, £9,000 to £11,000. So, you know, if you don't mind either something that's very usable, has a bit rough around the edges that you can get for a decent price, or you want to put the money in, make it pristine, and the value will go up with that. This is very much one to keep an eye on. And again, they are so silky smooth to drive. Just straight along. Speaking of silky smooth, a car that is very much causing me a bit of a professional dilemma, because I have just bought a very nice, very practical diesel that does great fuel economy to cover the miles that I'm driving. And then this comes along, 2011 Jaguar XK Auto. Now, I absolutely love these cars. I mean, I love Jags, but I do love this one in particular. I've just always found my experience with them to be absolutely great. They generally work really well. They're so smooth to drive. The styling has aged so well. And this, out of all the ones out there, is definitely the one you want. It's got that later XF gearbox. It's got way more mod cons. The interior in this is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, if Tom can come over here, it's locked. Well, I forgot my lock-picking kit, so if Tom just wants to come on, try and have a peer through that window. It is gorgeous in there. You've got the lovely walnut on there, cream seats, as it should be in a nice Jag. It's only had 3 former keepers. Obviously, this one with the 5-litre V8, no 4.2 here nonsense. It's got a current MOT with no advisories until June of 2026. It's showing 93,000 miles. And again, black paintwork looks great. The cream leather and the walnut on the interior. It's all very polished, very nice. It is very, very tempting. £8,000 to £9,000, which I would expect a lot more. But, again, maybe make an offer. On the other end of the spectrum, we have this 1966 Reliance Scimitar SE4 GT Coupe. Now, this was the first of the Scimitars to come out. Obviously, the Scimitar had a long production run across many models, and is quite a well-known car. I mean, always the popular joke, Princess Anne had one of them, you know, but not one of these. This one, again, on that same vein of what I was saying earlier, MOT'd until 2026, despite being MOT exempt by a factor of like 20 years. Well, it's been very well looked after. The odometer shows 45,000 miles. They are exceedingly rare cars. This one, number 247 of the 300 examples built. Again, these earlier ones with that nice straight six engine as well. And this one's had £2,000 worth of work completed by straight six SE4 specialists. It's had only 4 previous keepers, and it underwent a full restoration a couple of decades ago, which began with a galvanised chassis that remains in excellent condition. It's been very well looked after. Quite fun to drive, and something that will definitely turn heads. There's not many of these about, and in the kind of communities that know of them, very much will grab attention because they're quirky little cars, quite fun. This one estimated £15,000 to £18,000, but of course we're in this stage afterwards. It might go back, so call up, see if there's a deal to be done, and we'll work from there. Meanwhile, we also have 1928 Humber 1440 Tourer. Now this is a lovely motor car, bit of a project. Again, if you go across it, there are some bits that show their kind of age. And the big thing with this is that the block has a crack in it. However, do not fret. The vendor is providing a new block and a refurbished cylinder head. All that needs to be done is for them to be fitted into this car. So you don't need to worry about sourcing the parts or worrying if you can get hold of them. It's all there ready for you to go. Just a little project to keep you busy over the winter. Fit that in, and then just in time for summer, give it a bit of a clean. And it'll be a lovely car to take to the fairs come spring, summertime. This car was owned by a father and son for 34 years. They used to take it out to rallies. They've competed in Greece, in Switzerland. In fact, when we were talking about it, they were sharing some fond memories about when he used to go racing in this with his father. So it's obviously very sentimentally attached. It's got quite a story, this car. And it's only had 2 former keepers. So before them, there was only one keeper who had it for quite a long time because they acquired it in 1989. Again, it's a great tourer with a torquey engine that just goes. I mean, when it's working good, it'll be good for 60 miles an hour, which is quite the surprise. But again, the Humbers were built very well. They put a lot of concern onto Mr. Royce. Meanwhile, staying with the British elegance, shall we say, we have this 1964 Bentley S3. Now again, harping on that same point that I'm going to keep saying, it's got an MOT despite not needing one until April of 2026. It's been very well looked after, this car. Again, the iconic Flying B for the discerning gentleman who liked to drive himself. This one is not all show as well. This is a certified film star car. It was used in the soon-to-be-released Netflix production, Royally Screwed. Interesting title, to say the least. It's an elegant motor car. It's got the famous 6.23 litre V8, aluminium alloy engine. Offers you a lot of grunt for what is quite a big car. This S3, obviously, for the filming needs, it was slightly modified. So it's been switched to have individual seats at the front, rather than the traditional kind of bench. And the rear seats are moved slightly back. So you actually get a very nice amount of legroom back there. It is a very nice car to be driven about in. It certainly would be my choice for something like a wedding car. It's got the long power carpets, polished walnut dash, picnic trays, the full works, and it's in this lovely two-tone blue paintwork, very of the period. And again, a gorgeous looking motor car. Estimate of £17,000 to £19,000, and that rounds it off from here. But we have just 2 more that we're going to cover, but we're going to take a quick trip over to the other unit and show you what's there. So I'm here in the other unit, and we've got 2 more special vehicles to cover that are still available. The first one is this, a big old beastie, 1972 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 1. Now, not only is this Silver Shadow 1, it's the long wheelbase, which you can see by this absolutely humongous door for when Sir is being driven around. Lovely lamb's wool carpet in the back. Comfortable place to be, refined place to be. And this car, first ownership, totaled some 30 years with 3 former keepers. It's had over £12,000 spent over its last ownership, and the previous owner was a member of the South of England Rolls-Royce Enthusiast Club, attended a couple of their rallies. There's some extra details and paperwork available in the folder. Unfortunately, this car is for sale as its previous keeper of 24 years passed away. He only drove it 350 miles since 2017, although he reportedly regularly started it and drove it on short journeys to keep the car in good order. I mean, going up and down this car, you can see that he's loved it and cherished it. And again, I just, picture a nice gentleman going into the garage, checking on the rolls, making sure everything's in order, going out for a short drive to the shops, and coming back and everything is ticking like a nice Swiss watch. Bit of a tongue twister. But again, this one, it's long wheelbase, but it doesn't have the divider that would come with a lot of the long wheelbase models, so you actually get to make the most of that leg room, because that divider would take a lot away from both the driver and the person in the back. It's in this lovely silver with black roof, and the paintwork overall looks very good. There's a couple of very, very minor spots, if you're willing to look, like that one there. But again, I would have to literally lean over the car to be able to see that. Again, going through, these are just exuberantly lovely cars. And again, available at a very, very affordable price point. If you see this driving down the street, you wouldn't think that the gentleman's paid less for this than he has for a brand new Ford Ka. But that could be you. £8,000 to £9,000. And again, there's always the opportunity for a deal to be made. And finally, we shall move on, sticking to the silver theme. We have this 1961 Norton Dominator, an estimate of £3,000 to £4,000. These are very well regarded bikes. They may not be quite as beefy as a lot of the Triumphs of the era, but they were fine handling, very agreeable bikes, very nimble, and just overall very enjoyable to ride. They have a very dedicated following, and for good reason. This one's had 3 recorded keepers. It's obviously finished in that lovely silver. It's had a basically brand new set of tyres onto it. Been well looked after, completely ready. There's a couple of minor scratches on the tank here, but otherwise in very good condition and ready for someone to ride away into the sunset. So, there are all the cars that are still available, well, and bike that are still available after our November auction. If anything's taken your fancy, give us a call, inquire about it, perhaps even make an offer, and we'll see what we can do for you. But until the new year, that's it from me. So take care and enjoy the holiday season.